Hyperinflation. We all know that inflation is running rampant and we're in a recession. And now, working with the precious metals and silver, or even your guns and ammo and all the panic buying and stuff, these reports I do on my channel about this, it all revolves around money, okay? Money and getting things. And the thing about hyperinflation and what's scaring everybody, if the country gets to the point, we'll probably go into a depression first before the hyperinflation hits. But I myself, truthfully, I really don't believe the United States can get to a point where hyperinflation, like in Zimbabwe, Germany, post-World War I Germany, where they basically, when they lost the war, told them that they have to pay all these other countries in the war reparations. And when they sat down and calculated it, when everybody lined up and said they wanted reparations and money for the fact that they caused the war or whatever, or they lost, they did an assessment and said to pay everyone what they're asking would, it's the total net worth of the whole country. Their manufacturing, their factories, the cows and animals and that. You would have to take all of that and sell it to where there's absolutely nothing, and then, they could pay back the thing. So what they did is they kept getting pressured, so they just printed all the money that they needed, put it in boxes and sent it to them and said, there you go. There's your reparation money. And that's what created the hyperinflation. That's where you have banknotes that have a value of 100,000 or million, 40 million. I think the highest note at that time ever printed, and I bought it when I was a child, was a 40 million mark note. And now that's been superseded. I guess Zimbabwe printed a 1 trillion whatever note. Okay. The reason I don't believe it'll happen is looking back at history and looking at this. The people who control and manipulate this stuff, they put these plans in effect that, they're planning on what's going to happen 50 years from now. Okay? This ain't something they just wake up one day and go, let's just destroy the whole world economy. That's not what they do. This is all planned, schemed, and whatever the hell they're doing or what they're going for is all laid out over time. And fear, and the fear in, how can I put it? Fear is the driving factor. People use fear to create panic. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. And this is when people are in panic, people believe it's a crisis, they're terrified. That's when they will agree and make unwise decisions to whatever the powers to be who created this say, this is how we're going to solve the problem. And it might not be what you would like, and it might not be good for you, but, that's how they kind of coerce you into agreeing to something. Now, I've seen this, like I said, let's roll the clock back to the turn of the century, Y2K bug. That was a big panic crisis. Everybody's going crazy over this. And there's a lot of people that made money selling you software, everything else, and it was supposed to be where the computers would all shut down after midnight in the year 2000, when 2000, New Year's Eve 2000. All the computers in the world were going to shut down. Never did. So then the next one was the Mayan calendar. This one's hilarious. I guess this thing, I don't know how many thousands of years the calendar goes, but the calendar was rotating to where it's resetting and restarting again. I guess it happens once every 20,000 years or something. That was supposed to mean Armageddon, the end of the world. And I still got that video that said, you know, here we are 3 days after, went through, rotated, we're all still here. And again, fear, panic, just lunacy. That one there, you know, was a little crazy. You know, when it comes to where you believe the economy is going to crash, well, that does get your attention. Okay. So why I believe that this won't happen, and again, is U.S. dollar is the world currency. Everything is pegged to the dollar. The value of anything and everything, commodities, gold, silver, lumber, oil, it's all pegged to the dollar. And you can say whatever you want, okay? They can't allow that to just go into this hyperinflation and collapse. Now, in the past, after the housing bubble and, you know, the European Union was getting to where the euro was introduced and doing strong and doing well, these countries in the European Union said, we're going to go and get rid of the dollar. We're going to use our own currency, the euro. The euro is going to be the global currency, and that's what everything's going to be set by. And they announced it, and that did not work out. Okay? Recently, with these wars, now the Russians start. Well, if you want to buy oil and gas from us, you're paying us in rubles, which the ruble is probably the most unstable one, you know, for a country that size. You know, if you collect currency, they change the currency constantly. Like every 3 years, there's a new series. The old money's no good. They print different money. And I forget when the ruble, a guy was over there. He went to St. Petersburg on a vacation, and he showed me a note that was like 2,000 rubles or something, or some large number. And I sat there and I calculated what it is, or it was 200 or something. It's 20 cents, 25 cents is what that is worth in American money. Okay, so they decided they're going to go with the ruble. China, with their currency, whatever it is, China's always done something weird with their currency. And when we were getting bombarded where we had a recession in 2008 because China was manufacturing all of our goods. We weren't manufacturing nothing here in the U.S. Our whole economy was being flooded with their cheap products, and they were using up all the concrete available in the world. There was a concrete shortage in steel and metal because they were building these skyscrapers and going on a building spree. And I forget if it was China or India was supposed to start manufacturing cars, so there was no lead, there was no stainless steel, aluminum. And I remember in the shop, we needed to run a job. They couldn't find a certain size of aluminum, bars or rods, for us to run some small parts. You know, it's pretty common stuff. There were shortages of material to where you couldn't manufacture because you couldn't get the material. Because all the steel plants in the United States are closed. They're out of business. So, you know, that's why I say, you know, it can't happen. Okay, because, you know, it can't happen because it would really drastically affect the whole world globally. We're talking a total global meltdown. And the thing is, you have to think, even though it's scary, and even though they're pushing it, and even though everybody's ranting and raving, and you find all these videos about it, it can't happen. Because if you destroy the world economy that bad, okay, what's the point of being powerful and in charge when nothing functions? You're going to be in charge of nothing. Okay? So either they have a plan, what I believe is a digital currency. They have a plan of crashing the economy and saying, look, the only way to save you, the only way you're going to be able to go on, keep your property, house, whatever. Okay? I know there's plans that they want. everyone to give up their property and possessions, but you go on the digital currency, and that's when they're going to control you big time. They want to eliminate cash, banks, all this already. You're seeing how they just start reducing everything to where, you know, you're not using money. We're more or less on a digital system. Any checks I get are directly deposited. I never receive a check or have to go to the bank. It's automatically deposited in my account. I look on a computer, I have a debit card, and I can go and pay just about for everything. There's very few transactions that require that I have cash when it comes to buying my basic daily necessities. You know, gasoline, I pay the electric bill over the computer. I still do mail out some checks for bills. But they want you to have an automatic withdrawal out of your account set up on a computer. And they actually, especially if you're getting a loan, they reduce the amount that you have to pay if you do it to where it's directly transferred from your account, other than mailing a check. I still do it because, I don't know, sign of resistance or something. But I don't believe we're going to go into hyperinflation. Okay, I think they're just scaring the hell out of everybody. It ain't going to come to that. If they have some kind of evil plan, maybe, I don't know, to force you to where you will have no choice. A lot of these things are coming to where you're not going to have a choice. Okay? You're being forced. Very gradually, you're being forced. And that's what I think we have to watch out for. Okay, and that's why I'm making all these videos about these different things about holding gold and silver, and I'll go more into that. And I'm also making some videos talking about like investing in the stock market and all that other stuff. So, I hope you like this little discussion. Comment section's open. Please express yourself, and hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned, guys.